Good morning, good morning, good morning. It's Tuesday, a beautiful one for that matter. It's 22nd day of July 2025. Good morning. My name is Victor. Welcome to Good Morning Kenya, and I hope that you are ready up and early with us once again. Karibu sana. How was the night? Are you ready for the day? Let's do this. It's going to be an interesting discussion here on Saturday. Today I want us to talk about politics. It's been a bit of some time that we've not talked about politics, but today I want us to take a look at really what's happening in the country, just taking a 360-degree angle of what's happening in the country and, if possible, across our borders. My name is Victor. You can get me on social media platforms at Victor. Everywhere, utanipata huko. Let's talk, let's interact, and at KBC Channel 1. Okay, so today, at being a Tuesday, my guest will be in studio very shortly, and I want us to take a look at what is really happening across the country. My guest will be Peter Mutuku Mutua, who is a governance expert, Dr. Joseph Rotich, who is an economist by profession and political commentator, as well as Honorable Francis Mwangangi, who is a deputy governor of Machakos County. That will be happening shortly, and I'll also be taking you through the front pages of our local dailies, which is basically going to be forming a part of discussion. A lot is happening in the country. Raila's 2027 polls game plan unfolds. That is what I have here on the front page of the Star newspaper. Take a look at that. Raila's 2027 polls game plan unfolds. That is what I have. And yes, counties in turmoil, governors, MCAs, squabbles, stall services. That's again on the front page of the Star newspaper. I'll get you more details there. And on the Daily Nation, eyes on judiciary. That is on the front page of the Daily Nation. Eyes on judiciary as the state turns up the heat on critics. That is now, and according to the Daily Nation, the only arbiter here, or the referee, or the savior, is the judiciary. And now the government has been accused of weaponizing the justice system to intimidate and silence dissent. So that is also the front page. The gentleman on the front page is Boniface Mwangi, who was apprehended over the weekend and spent the entire weekend in custody and presented yesterday before a judge in Kahawa Magistrates Court, and he was released yesterday. And Boniface Mwangi was yesterday charged with unlawful possession of ammunition. He was granted a 1 million shillings personal bond. That is what is here. More details I'll be giving you shortly. And still on the front page of the Standard, cornered by public. That is what's on the front page of the Standard newspaper, cornered by public. Okay. The two gentlemen is Renson Ingonga, who is the DPP, and of course the DCI director, Mr. Amin. So the two gentlemen on the front page of the Standard newspaper. Let me give you an explainer. A flood of disapproval from an increasingly frustrated citizenry yesterday pushed the struggling director of public prosecutions to drop the far-fetched terrorism charge against rights activist Boniface Mwangi. The DPP later issued a press statement defending the decision to level such bizarre charges against activists, critics of the Ruto administration and protesters. After the DCI's terrorism claims against Mwangi failed, the test and were dropped from the charge sheet. Kenyans now want the outrageous charges against 37 others withdrawn as well. That is what I have on the front page of the Standard. Okay, I want us to take a quick break, and I'm going to take you through the inner details of the newspapers. And let's take that a quick break. Let me leave you with quote of the day as well as did you know? Take a look. Very good. Quote of the day, Ed, did you know? Okay, let me take you through the details of the three newspapers. Raila's 2027 polls game plan unfolds. That was I have here on the front page of the Star newspaper. strategy meant to rebrand his image and to rebuild grassroots support. That is Raila's game plan and now unfolds ahead 2027. The story is detailed for you on page 4 and page 5, which says that Raila ODM 2027 game plan exposed, as he also prepares ODM Raila Odinga's renewed call for a national referendum, and a people-led dialogue is drawing intense political scrutiny, with party insiders and critics viewing it as a calculated move to re-enter the political limelight ahead of the 2027 general election. During his Sabasaba Day address, the former Prime Minister proposed that the outcome of the planned national quote-unquote conclave be subjected to a plebiscite, that is a referendum, while the move is also framed as a citizen-driven reform agenda. Insiders within ODM say that it is part of a broader strategy to rebrand Raila's image, rebuild grassroots support, and strategically reposition himself for a possible 6th run for the presidency. Okay, that is what is here. And let me just quote what Gladys Wanga, who is the governor of Homa Bay County, said, that our position is, let people talk. Nothing can be resolved if people are given a chance to express themselves. That is according to Gladys Wanga, who is the national chair of ODM party. Now, unlike the contentious Building Bridges initiative, Raila is branding the latest effort as a constitutionally grounded and entirely citizen-led. He previously used a referendum in 2005 as a political springboard, defeating then President Moi Kibaki's camp before coming close to unseating him in the 2007 presidential race. That is what is here. A lot is happening in the country, politically speaking, and they say that still waters run deep. Okay, let's come back to the first pages. City traders saddled with the debts, depression in protest aftermath. This is something that we've discussed here after the protest. Now, what else? And now many people are still reeling in a lot of pain. Businesses are intimidated to lose up to 3 billion shillings per day in looting and foregone sales. That is what is here. 3 billion shillings. That is a lot of money. And so now, for a year, many of the business people in the city who did not have, who did not insure their business premises are now actually struggling to get back on their feet. 20 years jail term for man who killed wife. Autopsy revealed swelling, multiple cuts, bleeding, and blunt force trauma. And now, Esther Chepkwon's final Valentine's Day was one of pain, not red roses. Her life ended in a pool of blood outside her rural Nakuru home after a night of alleged beating by her husband. 9 years later, the Court of Appeal in Nakuru has upheld Chepkwon's conviction and 20-year prison sentence for murdering his wife on the night of February 14th, 2016. The appellate judgment was delivered on July 11th. So the gentleman will be in for 20 years. All right. Very quickly on the inner pages of the Star newspaper, let's get it. Wrangling MCS governors derail services at counties. This is something that we've been witnessing since the inception of the devolved units. Projects executed in a fragmented manner as deep-seated mistrust festers, and now it's just because of a toxic mix of power struggles and supremacy battles and political blackmail between county executives and assemblies is actually severely delaying critical service delivery across multiple devolved units. And now the newspaper can see that, you know, MCAs and the governors are actually embroiled in bitter feuds, stalling the passage of essential county budgets and also development plans and crippling public services. this is something that I think many governors are struggling with, that they need to be at par, or really need to be having it very well with the MCS for them to pass different budgets in the respective counties, assemblies, and according to the control of budget, that is Nyakango, Margaret Nyakango, she described the relationship between some county executives and assemblies as dysfunctional and convoluted, with political rivalry often taking precedence over citizen needs. So what are some of the counties that are affected? These are Bungoma, Machakos, Isiolo, Nyamira, and Meru, which are grappling with active or recent standoff between the executive and legislative arms of government, undermining day-to-day operations. Of course, the Deputy Governor of Machakos is here. He will help us to answer that. Other counties include Kilifi, Wajir, Nandi, Kakamega, and Kericho that have also experienced infighting, fueled either by executive interference in assembly operations or internal power wrangles among MCS. That is what I have here. Allow me to shake his hand. He's already... Good morning.
Good morning.
Good to see you.
Thank you.
Karibu sana. Okay, we'll just get back to that. Gen Z protest at risk of being hijacked by politicians, say KHRC, that is Kenya Human Rights Commission. Free surgeries offer, hope to Kisumu, cleft lip, and that's what's happening here. All right, so let me get into the front page of the Daily Nation. Eyes on judiciary as state turns up the heat on critics. Scale of justice where judicial independence in the country is facing a litmus test following calls by the executive to mete out harsh penalties on opposition politicians, anti-government protesters, and civil society activists, some of who are facing terrorism charges and have been slapped with hefty bail terms and bond as well over their alleged involvement in recent youth-led protests. Now, with the judiciary, will the judiciary succumb to this push or abide by the law and the constitution? That is a big Q on the front page of the Daily Nation. You must prove your contribution to claim matrimonial assets, judge tells spouses. So if you cannot prove, please don't get into that fight. When political seats become a family affair, leaders perpetuating politics of inheritance. Okay? So when it comes to the issue of Shakahola, which we've actually witnessed in the past, is there a case of Shakahola too? Cult horror resurfaces in Kilifi. Over 2 years ago, 400 people were feared dead in the Shakahola tragedy, in which cult followers were encouraged to starve themselves to death to get to heaven. Let me get to the front page of the Standard very fast. Cornered by public, and now DCI boss, Amin, and DPP, Renson Ingonga. Let's get into the inner pages of the Standard newspaper. Murder in Ward 7B, mysterious Kalombotole and KNH horror. That is what I have here on the front page of the Standard. For 3 years, a man with no ID, no relatives, and no known history lived inside Kenya's largest referral hospital. For 3 years, no ID, no relatives, and no known history. Okay, now he stands accused in 2 murders, each involving a slit throat, the same ward, and chilling silence from authorities. Right, this thing, something should be properly investigated. Deputy Governor of Machakos, Honorable Francis Mwangangi, is already here. Gentlemen, good morning.
Good morning.
Karibu sana.
Asante.
And also Peter Mutuku, who is a governance expert, also joining me on set. Good morning, Peter.
Good morning, Kenya.
You're well?
Very right.
Karibu sana. Now that you are the one to say good morning last, how is Kenya doing? Now that you said good morning, Kenya, how is Kenya doing generally?
Different. We see Kenya from different precincts.
Yes.
And so whatever I'm going to say is my opinion.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
There are things that are not happening as a citizens wish and even the leadership. And I hope each one of us is doing his best to correct the situations or to make better what is good. Yeah.
Okay. So that is opinion according to how Kenya is doing.
I said whatever I'm going to say, it's my personal opinion.
Yes.
And that remains so, in the sense that in my observation, there are things that ought to be better than they are, and some things need to have picked up. They have not picked up. There is confusion in this nation because we are already doing a lot of politics. 2 years to election.
Yes.
More than 2 years to election. A lot of politics from across the divide. So, for my, in my personal opinion, that brings about some confusion. And as we progress in this program, we'll be saying much more about my opinion.
Absolutely, absolutely. Honorable Mwangangi, I mean, it's been a very tough one for us. Last 2 months to speak, it's not been easy for us in the country. As a leader, what have you observed ever since we met on this set some times back now? What's happening across?
Thank you, Victor. It's complicated because
that's just what 2 words. It's complicated.
It's complicated because I think we have intolerant leadership, and this is not only political side.
Yes.
It's almost all in all areas. We have a leadership that is not ready to be held to account, especially those of us who have an opportunity to be in the office by way of being elected. And that complicates everything. Because if we listened, if we engaged each other with a lot of sincerity, if we said things as they are, most likely the country could not be where we are. But democratization continues. It is not dependent on any particular leader. It is not dependent on any MCA, nor any president. Kenya is here to stay. Because if it is leaders, we have had so many since independence. So some of us are still also learning from the current, comparing with the previous ones, and moving forward because we have a country to take care of. Yes.
Okay. The president was in your county over the weekend, and he said that parenting is one of the biggest issues that we are facing as a country, and now there are people who are feeling the protest that we've been gone through for the last few months, 2-3 months or 1 year, let's say, from last year. There are people who are actually feeling that. But the biggest one is parenting. Do you believe that? I mean, you are in the political circles, and when you see Kenyans demonstrating across the country, and the president said it's parenting.
I have a different opinion. I think that is gospel according to Kenya Kwanza, which they have the right to. I don't think so. Because, Victor, because the issue of parenting is being used to justify violations of human rights, forced disappearances, murdering, slaughtering our youth. It's just I think the government is looking for an excuse to justify their actions. Remember, this is the only administration since Kenya started that has done what it has done. When you are talking of abductions, I don't think we have another government that has done this kind of thing before. Forced disappearances, shooting of our youths, slaughtering Kenyans. This is the only administration that has done so since independence. There is no another. So I think they are looking for scapegoats. When it comes to parenting, I think time has changed. don't expect the same way I was brought up. When I was brought to this world by way of being given birth. Things were not the way they are today. A lot has changed. So don't expect people to live as they lived yesterday.
Yeah.
So we need to learn more to accommodate each other and move forward. I will say, is that the reason why this government, whatever they promised during their campaigns, when you look at it keenly, you examine, they have gone 360 degrees opposite. Name it at random. Because when it comes to institutional reform, we know where the last government left. You can look around. Even I wish we could open this building here, and you just show your cameras just behind us here. You will see an expressway, a very beautiful one, courtesy of the last government, Uhuru Kenyatta's administration. What can we see as we sit here? So I think we are trying to look for scapegoats, as far as I'm concerned, to justify our actions. And to those of us in political leadership, in other leadership, it's a matter of time that somebody else will come and be held to account.
Okay.
Yes.
Peter, when you hear what the DG has said, and let's just go back, the government is quite strong on seeking to cripple the critics, and it's world over. It's world over. But what does that really show? That the kind of critics that we have in the country, is it a healthy one or is it a healthy one? And how, it's a very thin line between the government and the critics, and how to operate in between that space, so that there is no sense of human rights violation and also keeping the rule of law.
Well, first of all, let me go back to the issue of parenting.
Yes. When
the head of state, our president that we elected, that is a symbol of unity, says in the public that Gen Z's problem is parenting. I would disagree with that, because each parent makes sure that takes care of the kids. And what happens is that information, and a lot of it is out there. These children, they know much than our times. But let's go back to critics. When a state finds that it's not ready to be questioned, and then it meets some serious torture and many constraints, disruptions on citizens, and decides that when you criticize the leadership, it is classified as terrorism, disruption, intention to throw the government. Such kind of adjectives will not help this nation. And as my deputy governor here said, that the intolerance itself is at its peak.
Yes.
That we do not tolerate one another. And when in a nation where we cannot tolerate one another, there's a nation that is headed in the wrong direction. So where we have found and we have seen critics, and then the problem is, even in criticizing, there are also some people who have gone overboard, because...
Yeah, just continue.
Because when we are given, also, we need also to have constraints, all of us.
Yes.
When we are given, for example, an opportunity to come here in this telecast, we are supposed to work and deal within the confines of the rules and regulations that control this. So even when people have been given the freedom to criticize, let us also criticize in a civil manner. And when you criticize, let's have substance. And when it's substance, then do not be punished for saying the truth, no matter how bitter it is. Yes.
Okay. Dr. Joseph Rotich, good morning.
Good morning, hello. How are you?
Fine, thank you. Good to see you.
I'm here to stay.
No, we are all here to stay. We are all here to stay. Welcome to the program. Karibu sana.
Thank you so much.
Dr. Joseph Rotich is an economist by profession and also a political commentator. We are just starting our discussion, joining us now. Let's go back to what the president said. It's about poor parenting. You are failing as a parent. That's why our kids on the street, Dr.
Hey, hello.
Have you failed?
I totally agree with His Excellency, the President.
So you failed as a parent?
We have failed as parents. When we talk about we, you, we mean we as Kenyans. Because when we see what's happening in this country, I overheard you talking about the criticism. I think what we do encourage is constructive criticism.
All right.
Criticism also with courtesy. Criticism with the, I oversaw what the Tanzanians are saying about us. That Kenyans are too clever, and they are too clever even to do things we cannot be done even in their own country. Because criticizing the president in Tanzania is almost a taboo, but it's not like that in this country. So while we are well read when it comes to the law itself, Kenyans are well informed. But this unguarded wisdom, unguarded knowledge that our people, our children are actually being bombarded with. Any knowledge, any civilization must be guarded within the law, so that it becomes constructive, so that it becomes something that will help the country itself. Because when you see, what the president actually meant is that when we see the kind of activities, the responses that our youth are actually employing, it is quite disgusting. Is that what we learn in school? Because it is like, because when you talk about parenting, we also go, by extension, it goes to our schools. What are we teaching our children? What manners are we teaching our children? So we need to be a disciplined nation. We need to be a disciplined family. Even from the very beginning, the parent himself or herself must be the beginner of education to the children. So what we mean to say is that we need to have our children being respectful, not only to their parents, being respectful to their fellow citizens, so that we handle ourselves as people who are civilized, people who are non-destructive, people who can criticize with the constructor. You criticize to build, you don't criticize to destroy. So, as my brother said, that we don't need to punish our children when they criticize. I don't see when we talk about punishing, I think what is punishable in this country also, it's not about the criticism. What is punishable is the destruction of people's properties. That is where the law really comes in. It is not about how many people have actually been abusing His Excellency the President, just by utterances. A young boy talking all sorts of things. There was a time when even one of our sons had to put His Excellency the President in a coffin. What sort of parenting is that? It is un-African, it's un-traditional. Yeah. Where you put a whole head of state under some coffin, sort of. What does that tell you, Olo? What does that indicate about the backdrop of our cultural background, the backdrop of our taboos? What is it that we are feeling about the leadership of this country? Okay. And even not only that, even the parents. So the same thing that is happening to leadership is the same thing that will also turn back to their own, the parents themselves.
Where are they getting all these examples from, Dr.
As my brother said, the world is now becoming a global village. Our children are well read. And even what I can inform you, as I heard the Tanzanians talking, the young generation of Tanzanians, yes, they are saying Kenyans are far ahead in understanding the Constitution. They understand their rights.
So you are absolutely right. Kenyans understand the Constitution. So
yes.
Let's take up that point for a minute. So if I picket, according to Article 37, all right, so why should I be shot?
While I agree with you about picketing a law, this country, the Constitution itself allows picketing. They allow demonstration. They allow free associations. They allow all sorts of things that we can imagine within the brackets of the law. But it does not allow destruction, burning of people's properties, looting of people's properties, doing all sorts of things. That is not what is in our Constitution. But they say, the Constitution also says peaceful picketing.
Yes.
What does that indicate?
Okay. Let me bring Peter. Peter, I think he just picked your mind at some point when you were talking. Go ahead. You can rebuttal to that.
Well, you are Dr.
Rotich. Dr. Rotich, yes.
Because it's important for me to address you by your name so that I don't make any mistake. Dr. Rotich. You found me saying about parenting and disagreed when I said the president was to some extent wrong saying the problem is parenting. I personally have kids of that age, in that bracket of Gen Z, and I do not think, and I will not admit in this telecast, that I failed in bringing up my children. If one somewhere in this country, in any section of the world, that has failed to bring up their kids in the manner that should go, I'm not in that category. Having said that, when we look at Article 37, that gives us freedoms of picketing, demonstrating, as we exercise and put it into practice, we have found, and it's in common knowledge,
yes, that
some sections of Kenyans have deployed people nowadays, they are called goons, to disrupt those demonstrations, those peaceful demonstrations. Because the Constitution in its spirit did not envisage destruction, disruption of lives during demonstration. So then what calls for us is to go back to the Constitution, and we find, if it does not exhaustively address the issue so that it's clearly black and white,
yes,
that we do not have gray areas. If there was a time that we needed a referendum, is now. So that now we can separate what is peaceful demonstrations and what is destruction of properties. And how would we identify peaceful demonstrators, and at what point do we separate them from goons?
Yeah.
The ones who come and take advantage of confusion and start looting, maiming, and even raping, looting, pickpocketing, and even mugging. Because when they go to the streets, they are not going to do that.
Yeah.
But some people, both in the government and in the opposition, take advantage of that and bring people to infiltrate the ranks of the demonstrators. But as for parenting, it is not a general thing, and parent number one in this nation is the president. He's our parent. Okay?
Yes.
So we have not failed.
Okay. DG. I could see you're burning to respond to that.
Yes. Allow me to say this. I first ask myself, why is the head of state thinking or feeling that there is failure in terms of parenting? One is because of Gen Z's protests. Then I go further and ask myself, why these protests? What are the issues which are being raised?
Yes.
One of them is good governance. Another one is false promises by elected leaders, especially the current government. Three is holding leaders to account. Now, when you look at those things, you put them on one side, and you also look at the reaction of the government when it comes to these protests. Our panelist is talking about putting someone in a coffin. One, I don't agree totally with disrespecting the office of the president, because that is a symbol of unity.
Yes.
But he is not above criticism. It is one thing to be president, and it is another thing altogether to behave according to the dictates and the requirements of such an office. If you behave as one as a president, definitely we have had presidents before. You ask yourself, why are Kenyans now raising questions about your leadership? Why are Kenyans raising issues about deputy governor of Machakos and not another governor in the republic?
Yeah.
Why are they raising about questions about a certain MC or governor or MP and not another one? So I think the issue of parenting is a escapist issue. Because the issues that are making our children to go to the streets are valid. If I made a promise today, Victor, I'm getting out of this studio then go to town and bring a cup of tea in a thermos, please stick to that.
Yeah.
Don't say this. When you are in the office, you do the other thing. To my own review and understanding is Kenya is now on the radar of the UN Human Rights Commission because of the violations of the same. That is far away from this country. Why not another country within Africa or East Africa, which is under focus? Why? Because we are going way out of the constitutional way of dealing with issues. That's why we are finding ourselves there, injuring the image of this country.
Yes.
So I think it is not proper to say that as parents we are failing. The time has changed. It is us, old-guards, who should know times has changed, and we change according to the time.
Yeah.
So finally, I think if you are an MCA, if you are a deputy governor or anybody in any political office, please, if you are not ready to be questioned by those who put you there, because those are your bosses, quit and go farming or do some other things elsewhere.
Daktari, go farming.
Yes.
I think there is a missing link somewhere which we are not trying to connect. What the missing link there, Olo, is that the dissatisfaction or the discontentment that some people are failing to tell us is that, are we talking about the real peaceful demonstrators, or we are talking about those who have turned to be looters, those who kills, those who mines, those who rob people of their goods, I mean their items on the streets? Those are the people we are referring to. We are not referring to a peaceful citizen, a peaceful demonstrator, a Gen Z who wakes up in the morning with water, with an handkerchief, going to the streets to demonstrate against the government. Whichever language that they use, even though of course we are encouraging as parents that they must be held accountable individually for their utterances, for their doings, for everything. Now, when you tell me, when you fail to tell me that there is another guy who went to ban police station, there's another guy who went to supermarket and loot, there's another guy who went to, and you want to lump them up to say if they were peaceful demonstrators. I mean, are we failing in our responsibility to identify who are the real culprits? I mean, this is the point of law. Whenever we are talking about the goons along with the protesters, we are referring the goons. We are not referring the peaceful demonstrators. And those are the areas we must be able to separate.
During demonstration, it's so hard to differentiate between who is a goon and who is...
And that is why most of them are lumped up together as goons.
As goons.
Yes. So that is where we have a problem. But the moment we are able to identify and segregate and separate as to who is this guy who is actually infiltrating into a peaceful protest, and then causing causing destruction, lootings and all this and that. So if we are not able to separate the law, we shall lump them together and say, oh, the World Human Rights are telling us about this. The government of the day has the custody to protect the properties and the lives of the people. That is their business. Once you turn a goon, once you turn a thief, once you turn a robber, what do you want to be done? I mean, how can you be dealt with? I mean, let us be honest to one another.
Daktari, I don't know. I think you might have been out of the country for a long time, or maybe you don't understand the issue so well. Why am I saying this? With all that, assume I'm disrupting any peaceful demonstration. Whose responsibility it is to ensure I do not disrupt that peaceful demonstration? We have a government that we pay taxes. We run the government through our taxes. Why can't they arrest such a person and you are subjected to criminal justice system? And if I'm found capable, I'm taken to committee like anybody else. Why kill such a person? We have seen senior government officials uttering words that, in my view, do not quantify such officers to remain in such offices. Because when you hear someone say shoot to kill, Where is that in our law? What is that they have committed other than picketing? And we have seen clearly. I hope Mr. Rotich saw this. We saw our security agencies working alongside these people, so-called criminals. They could not arrest them, meaning it is the government that is disrupting peaceful demonstration in our streets.
Yeah.
Because if you have people walking around alongside our security agents, what does that one mean? So in this case, what I said earlier, Victor, is when you see the reaction of the government, and by the way, Mr. Rotich, this is our country. And we have no another country called Kenya is anywhere else, Victor. So anything we are uttering, anything we are doing, I will always praise a good policy, and I will always give a contradicting opinion to a bad policy that is not going to take this country forward.
Okay.
Victor, finally.
I want to serve you tea.
Yes, before you serve tea, please. Look at sentiments like I saw a very good friend of mine, a very senior government minister. I say senior by virtue of the years he has served in public service. And this is CS Health. The other day he is accusing a church in Kenya of not supporting this government. And they are going further. He went further and said, we had other two previous presidents who came from a certain region of this country.
Can you just hold that thought?
Yes.
Just hold that thought. I know where you're headed.
Yes.
Okay. I want to serve Dr. Rotich some tea.
I'll appreciate, sir.
You're okay with that?
I need tea like yesterday.
Very good. Very good. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
Amen.
All right, and welcome back. All of us have cups of coffee. The DJ has raised a very good concern. We don't have the branded cups. And we all of us, I mean, yeah, something is coming up. Don't worry.
Yes, I'm used to the branded one.
Yes.
But also, I also commend whoever came up with this. They're also good.
It's flowery.
They seem to be new.
Yeah, they are.
Thank you.
We are working on the other one.
But no, we are the real brand of Kenya.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. All right. So let's come back to the discussion, gentlemen, and thank you for staying with us, and even you as a viewer back home. So, DJ, you are submitting a point.
Yes.
Go ahead.
I was saying, this thing of senior government officials, please, even as you defend the government, as you promote government policies,
yes,
it is good we be civil. And we call the thing the way it is. I was giving an example of health minister. Don't bring religious disharmony, because, for example, myself, although Professor Rotich here feels we are not well parented, but I was told, even if you go anywhere and you find some Muslims praying under a tree, you need to respect them.
Yeah.
When you find a congregation, whichever congregation is praying, they are worshiping, irrespective of where they are doing it, please learn to respect them. So criticizing religious leaders in this country, and then you try to divide them by naming them, I don't think it will help. It is the same minister. And by the way, he went to his leave sometimes back. By then he was my majority leader in parliament, and I disagreed with him. He said, please don't throw bombs here in his lead, throw them in Machakos. You know, sometimes he is reckless. I know sometimes he could go some places and whatever they discuss in those places, he takes them to public. He needs not to. I think he needs to check his mouth. Now, the same happens to also another good friend of mine, whom we played Mbunge FC together, the current interior CS.
Yes.
You don't say shoot to kill. Just arrest Kenyans. And I'm happy that the NPS decided, many of them decided to ignore that kind of an order, which was also, again, Mr. Rotich, was also indirectly backed by the head of state by directing the police to shoot somewhere at the leg. I don't think the government needs to do all that. All we need, all of us as Kenyans, we need to adhere by our constitution. If we did that, Victor, we will not see the kind of things that we are seeing today.
Yeah.
And I don't buy the idea that it is bad parenting. It is only that we know, Mwangangi, you came here, you promised us this thing, you did not do it, we are holding you to account. You don't tell us there is no money for devolution and you are splashing out there 1 million worth of a watch.
Okay.
You know, somehow don't annoy the Kenyans, and then when they are trying to hold you to account, you start killing us.
My question is, DG, because we are looking at a situation where Kenya is not asleep anymore. We are in a new dispensation of new constitution, so to speak, which is quite progressive world over. But then now, the protest that we are seeing in the country did not start today. Just the other day, we commemorated the Sabasaba. We started way back in the 90s, and we are here. But times have grown until now we are now the generation who, to some extent, understood the real meaning of Sabasaba. This started last year during the Maandamano about the finance bill. Nobody took them to the streets. They read. But then now the question is, so what role do you have to play as political class to guide this country so that much as there is that civil unrest, there is also some rule of law taken care of?
First and foremost, we need to be ready to be held to account.
Yeah.
That is one. Number two, we need to live by the dictates and the requirements of the offices that we occupy.
Yes.
Number three, if we exercised rule of law, if we adhered to our constitution, then we will ensure everything is, we will witness smooth running of our country. When you look at the issues that are taking our people to streets,
yes,
are valid issues. The question is how we react to them, how we engage them, and our sincerity. We had Azimio's led demonstrations.
Yes.
People sat somewhere in the bombers of Kenya, came up with a very good document with very good issues to develop and advance this country as far as development is concerned. But what do we do about it? The NADCO report is lying somewhere, and we continue behaving as though all is well. So in this case, we must be held to account. When Kenyans say we used public funds to come up with this very good document, why are you not implementing it? That does not warrant you be abducted, you be killed, you be incarcerated and be charged through terrorism. You know, you look at some of these things, and it is action of this government that is hardening Kenyans more. Anything they do as far as maiming Kenyans is concerned, it is hardening Kenyans and ensuring when the demonstration is called, they will come now 10 times they were.
Okay.
So the best way is we listen to each other, we engage each other, and anything coming out of that engagement is honestly implemented. And if it cannot be implemented for one reason or the other, please come forward and explain to Kenyans. We are unable to do 1, 2, 3 because of 1, 2, 3.
Okay. Dr. Let me come back to you. The issue of rule of law, everything in line.
Thank you so much, Olo. The way I look at it, Olo, this country is not devoid of law. It is not devoid of the constitution. And after the 2010 promulgation of this, the current constitution that gave us a more democratic space in this country, it has made Kenyans to be more powerful the way they are at the moment. But you see, Olo, any right that is not well managed, it becomes a curse. Because when you say I have we are a state of democracy, or you are in a state of democracy where you want to do everything the way you want. Although if these things are not managed and managed well, it will lead us into anarchy. You take for example, although the law allows freedom to picket, but saying peaceful demonstration. And that is what is in our law. It is not, and it is also guaranteed of every Kenyan citizen. In this case, law, when you go into riots, there is also the law that guards riots. When you go into looting, when you go into miming, when you talk, all sorts of ugly things, the state has its law to guard the property and also guard the lives of the Kenyans.
Yes.
And in this case alone, when you say that where does your right ends? I want to tell you where your right ends, mine begins. And that is why there must be respect among the Kenyans. Even as my Ichi is explaining something like that Kenyans must abide by the law, and all of us must be held individually responsible for whatever utterances, whatever action that we are doing as Kenyans. And the moment we stick to the law, this country will be well managed.
Okay.
Now tell me a situation whereby you ram into a police station, you scare the policemen, they run away. The people who are supposed to be providing security, they themselves are not secure. Which country on earth can we be if we allow such things to happen? And then there was an incident, although in Homa Bay, whereby one officer went on a PESAC and then he canned down his boss. And then he ran away, hardly a kilometer away. He was subdued. He was subdued by a gun. He was canned down because he was now dangerous to the public. What do you do to this guy who is now dangerous to the public? The askari himself, the policeman was subdued.
What are you trying to imply?
No, what I'm trying to tell you, law, there are situations where the law allows the use of a gun.
Okay, so in this case, how would you handle that?
Of course, these guys who are actually in the field, those who have been trained to do that, they're security people. They know, they are well skilled. They know how to do their job.
Yeah.
They have been trained to do that one. So in that case, what I'm saying, in circumstances where it goes beyond their capacity to protect themselves or to protect the lives of others, using a gun is not a criminal offense. It is allowed in the law. So, but just as I was saying, I was telling you, anything excess is dangerous. We cannot use a gun excessively. Of course, my brother was referring about the recent utterances. Mine, I'm very keen about the. You oversaw what Nelson Goethe, the MP Belgood, uttering about shoot to kill. And he was advancing from what the president said, that shoot on the leg. What the president meant was, can you subdue? Get this person, because the president even expressed that the person, as he proceeds to the court, that means he will be treated in the hospital, he will proceed to do. So he never meant to kill, according to my own opinion. But in this case, people are so jittery about that. Yet the president is protecting the rights and the lives of the Kenyan citizens.
Okay, let's talk about this way. So, no shoot to kill, not shoot to maim, or shoot, on sight. So, is there anything different that can be done? We have a very good constitution, Dr. And you know that.
I totally agree with you, Olo. I'm not for killing. I'm not for shooting myself. I have to be very honest to you. I'm not for that one. But what I'm saying, we need to make a lot of exploits as to what is it that we can do that should not lead us to shooting. And if they have already exhausted those areas, then the alternative will be just that one. So what we are saying, in any normal approach that will really create a conducive environment, or rather protect the lives and the properties of the people, that is what we should follow. But where it is beyond the measure, you go to a police station, you burn it down. You took over the guns, and then you call yourself a Gen Z. Which Gen Z goes to a police station? I mean, an armed person. I mean, my friend, we need to educate Kenyans more about who is a Gen Z and who is a terrorist. And my brother is talking about that the guys are being charged under Terrorist Act. Which other measure can you give to somebody who has terrorized police station, burn down the courts in the country? How can you treat such a person? How is it different between the one that we were experiencing about the cooperative that was smashed some years back, 1992, with terrorists? What's the difference between that one? So what we are just saying, we need to create citizens who are law-abiding.
Thank you. Peter.
Maybe before I start, I needed to remind Dr. Rotich that the senior police officer that was killed was in Siaya and not in Homa Bay.
Thank you for your correction.
So that we do not portray Homa Bay as the bed of deaths of all sorts. Now,
that's my county.
Thank you for your correction, sir. I salute you.
Okay. Let me tell you, words are powerful chambers. And words carry different power depending on who has said those words. A person in authority pointing you with his finger is like giving instructions to the beaten or arrested or something. So I want to disagree that in any way there is no place for shoot either on the legs, either shoot to kill or shoot when it is necessary. The leadership of this nation, having all the powers they have, they would have used better terms. But if you say, as a leader, use appropriate law, it is enough to explain what you mean, other than going to the public and saying shoot. Let me tell you something. We will keep quiet because it's a Swale. It will come time we'll keep quiet because it's a Peter. We will continue keeping quiet after done with the Molo, karaoke, until it is your day that people need to speak, but they are not there because when you kept quiet, they were dealt with. So we need to speak, and I wish here in KBC, being a national telecast, I would wish in the future if we started with something that unites all of us and makes us feel that we are all Kenyans, and when we come here we speak like Kenyans, ordinary Kenyans, speaking for Kenyans. For example, I wish we would sing the national anthem. And again, maybe, although next time you ask us to come here, you either provide us with copies of the Constitution, you tell us to come up with the copies. We come with the copies.
Yes. I can provide one for you.
Not now.
Okay.
I want it to be here the way we have these newspapers, so that when we refer to a certain section of the Constitution, the public can see we are referring. You know, sometimes when you say something from your mind, it's not as effective as when you are reading. You see? 2, let's go back to the demonstrators, because it's a very emotive issue. When the Gen Zs, the so-called Gen Zs, when they organized themselves, they moved to the streets, in their wisdom, and I want to tell you, this is one of the reasons that I'm saying that we are parenting our children very well. In their wisdom, they said all of us must carry a flag. The flag is a sign that we are all Kenyans. We are not tribe this or that. The flag was the uniting factor. It's not that one aspect of parenting, good parenting, that they went there with flag, with water. And it is the business and the responsibility of the National Police Service under the Minister of Interior to make sure that they separate goons, thieves from the peaceful demonstrators.
Thank you. Gentlemen, I want us to do something here because I have very few minutes to go. And did you just help me with the Star newspaper kindly? And on the front, in the pages of the Star newspaper, this is what I'm about to ask you. I think you are mentioned somewhere. Where is that? Yes, go ahead. Wrangling MCAs and governors derail service deliveries in counties. And I think, how is Nairobi doing, Peter, so far? Machakos has been mentioned here. We have got 5 counties, include Bungoma, Machakos, Isiolo, Nyamira, and Meru counties grappling with the active or recent standoffs between the executive and legislative arms of government, undermining day-to-day operations. How would you describe that, DG?
One, it's unfortunate because devolution is meant to work for Kenyans at the grassroots level.
Yes.
When there are those ragos, don't expect there to be effective and efficient delivery of services. But by and large, it is the kind of politics that we have. Because when you look at, like in the case of Machakos, you look at the team on one side and the other one, you see a political divide. Those who want to succeed the current administration, and those who want also, who are looking for an opportunity, for an entry opportunity.
Yes.
we have seen, and it is in public knowledge, those who are trying to bring those wrangles have been to State House, have been to the office of the deputy president. The person who wants to be ousted has also been there. You know, now you look at it, is pure politics and bad politics, because even as I articulate issues here, I'm not in any way insinuating we have a bad government at all, because it is our government. It is Kenya's government. Administration might belong to it belongs to the president, His Excellency President William Ruto.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it is our government. I challenge their policies, the bad ones, and equally the same. If I were to oppose the current leadership in any county, I would challenge their policies and unveil more prosperous and those better policies.
Yes.
In case of counties, largely it is pure politics that is happening there, and it's unfortunate.
Okay.
It's unfortunate.
That
should not be the case.
That should not be the case. But let's talk about the economic aspect of it. Doctor, you are an economist, and ever since we had this devolution, the first cohort of the county executives, some would describe that they were learning in the job, all right? And now the subsequent leadership, including the DG here, some would say that they're no longer Gen Zs in devolution, all right? How is it really affecting devolution? Because number one, there is that on-source revenue. There are so many county, bills that are supposed to be passed and all that, but we have several counties. It's unfortunate that these are the ones that have been mentioned currently, but we've had several counties even in the past.
I think, what is benefiting most of the counties, I think I would refer my own county, Kericho, as one of the examples, because we have had problems in the past, especially MCAs planning to host the governor. And even the latest, there is also an allegation that was put up by the deputy governor, an allegation of some money lost through some dubious transactions.
Yeah.
And when you look at it very keenly, although it is not so much about corruption alone, it is about politics. And now people, most of them are eyeing 2027 and seating one another. Because here is a case whereby the constitution, the promulgated 2010 constitution actually never gave clear, very clear roles of the deputy governor. And the clearest thing that it is so obvious to most of them is that in the event that a governor is ousted or removed, the automatic heir will be the deputy governor. Yeah. And that kind of space has actually brought about a lot of instability, whereby the deputy governor feels that he is an entitled heir in the event of removal of the governor. So that kind of opportunity is very dangerous if it is not addressed constitutionally. And then number two, the issues to do with the delay of remittance of funds by the national government to these county governments has actually handicapped them. You get most of the county governments actually, they have loads and loads and billions of pending bills, which of course they are now unable to address. They cannot even pay their clients, those people who have actually worked for the county government.
Service
and then
providers.
the people have now lost the trust in the leadership of the county government, not because they are bad, but because of the government delay of remittance of funds from the national coffers to the county coffers. And then number three, is that now that we sometimes also have rock speakers, of the county assemblies, who may also have a hidden interest of becoming governors in future. So what they are actually what they would be also planning to do is to cripple the operations of the county government, to subject the sitting governor look like he's not a performer when it is he himself who has subjected that governor into such conditions. So there are a lot of intrigues in our county government. And then when you talk about the self-sourcing of funding, yes, it has not been very easy in most of the county governments, because you get much of what they are expecting actually should be coming from the national government. Sourcing on their own individual sources has been very minimal. And that has really threatened even the closure of some of the county governments. Some county governments, they have to rely entirely on the national government, actually, remittance of funds. And they don't operate. Once the county government stops or delays, they don't do any operation. Even payment of the salaries for their own staffs has been a real problem. So I do look at the problems that have been bedeviling the county government or law is also contributed by the national government, which it is something that must be addressed and addressed for law. First, addressing that law whereby the deputy governor can inherit automatically the governor in the event of ouster or anything like that, because that has brought instability among the county governments.
It's debatable though. Peter, do you have wrangles in the county of Nairobi?
Obviously,
you depend on on-source revenue.
Obviously, you can see we have not made to the list of shame. So for that reason, don't allow me to imagine making to the list of shame. No. And the reason why we have not made to the list of shame,
it's not a list of shame per se.
No, allow me to express my opinion without constraint.
Okay.
You see, the fact that we are not among these counties which are named here, it shows you we have the capacity to manage diversity. Let's start from there, because the issue here is MCAs. For example, if you went to Isiolo MCAs, they are just from 2 communities and from 1 political party, right? Just giving an example. When you go to Kericho, almost all the MCAs from same community, same political parties, same manifesto. So what happens is that the leadership does not have the capacity to manage diversity. As for our own source revenue, we've collected more than we ever collected before. And I don't even need to explain that, because we are not appearing in this list of shame. The thing is, the issue of Machakos, the issue of Bungoma, the issue of Kericho, and this, for example, in Bungoma, it is already succession politics because the governor is serving his 2nd term. So other people from outside, as we saw, people have shown interest. And in Machakos, the deputy governor is here. He needs to explain to us why. Because we've never had him and the governor fight. And I want to also to disagree before I finish that, well, the Constitution, in the wisdom of lack of it, we created the possibility of the deputy governor inheriting if it happens, whatever time it happens, and if he does so, within the 2.5 years, he will be construed to serve a term, deputy governor. So when this one was designed in the wisdom, so that when you pick your deputy governor, it's like, for example, yourself, when you get married, you never know who leaves this world before the other. So when you have children, you can know if it was clearly shown that you are dying tomorrow. You won't say, let me die with my wife because I don't trust her with my children. So, if you pick a governor, you should pick, when a governor picks a running mate, you should pick a running mate that you are also as much comfortable if you became the governor, whether dead or impeached. All right? You need to understand there could be issues of impeachment. So when you pick a deputy governor, you should also be comfortable with that deputy becoming the governor and start serving you as an ordinary citizen.
Thank you. DG, are you working to settle scores with your MCS in the county?
We are ever engaging and we are ever open to deal with issues.
Yes.
I think I need to say this.
Kindly, as we finish.
We need also to appreciate those wrangles. Because sometimes, if you are quiet, you might not know what is happening or what might not be happening. So sometimes let us also appreciate we have a democratic society, our democratization process continues, and let also these leaders who are elected from wards, our MCS, express themselves. Sometimes these ragos are not that bad.
Okay.
They are not that bad. It is good.
It is
Sometimes when you have an opposing side and you have the majority side, so not the kind of, you know, I remind viewers and the country that one time the then Deputy President and presidential candidate was invited somewhere in Charterhouse in United Kingdom, and he strongly built a case against the minority and the majority working together as government. In fact, he termed it as a mongrel kind of something in Kenya that was happening then. Sometimes it is good you have a very strong opposing side and a very also strong majority on government side, and out of it you will have quality policies that will, yes, which sometimes is good. It's not that bad. It's not entirely that
Deputy
bad.
Governor of Machakos County, you're a friend of KBC, GMK. Thank you so much for always sparing your time. And we'll be talking about this over and over again. I think he said sometimes it's good to have that opposition so that mnapimana na nguvu kidogo. Thank you so much, Francis Mwangangi, Honorable Francis Mwangangi, who is the Deputy Governor of Machakos County. Peter Mutua, who is the head of Service Delivery Unit in Nairobi County, is also a political governance and expert. Thank you so much for coming. And Dr. Joseph Rotich, an economist by profession and also political commentator. Gentlemen, three wise men. Hands up to all of you. Thank you. And you as a viewer, asante for coming and for watching. Now, let me leave you with the tip of the day as we wind up this. Good morning.